Hello, I'm so sorry for being late to my own live. I think that's quite unforgivable, actually. At the Katie's Arms, I am a stickler for being on time for things, and it's 4 minutes past 8 UK time. So please forgive me. I do apologise. I'm not entirely sure what's happened, other than I think I've gone into some sort of Mexican time, and so God only knows, all old ways have gone out of the window. But thank you so much for joining me. And I'm trying to imagine now 8 o'clock in the UK and how that is, other than probably quite chilly and still very locked down. Please don't think at any point that this Katie's arm is all arms, not arm singular. It'd be very sad if I was an amputee. This Katie's Arms is not a kind of a smug thing or a gloat thing. That isn't it at all. And that's not what this is about. And it is just a regular Katie's Arms. It's just that I've slightly changed location. And you can hear probably in the background some of the locals and some of the dogs that are living near me as well. People are asking about where I am, why I'm not at home, why is it okay for me to go? It's illegal to leave the country. Obviously, it's illegal to go on holiday. It's illegal to be more than 7 miles from your home because the UK is in a ridiculous state of affairs. I think from my personal point of view, and this is my own personal decision, I don't need to adhere to laws that are made up for no bloody reason whatsoever. My personal view is that if somebody wants to start making up crap rules, then I don't have a moral obligation to follow them. You know, I believe in law and order, and I believe in all that stuff. I believe that people should have the right to look after their property. People should have the right not to be hurt or injured. I would never want to harm anybody. But when someone starts telling me where I'm not allowed to go, or where I'm not allowed to be, or what plane I'm not allowed to get on, and why I can't go to a country that I used to go to, and that I'm not allowed to use my passport where I want, then I'm sorry, it's time for me to start saying really bollocks to all of that, and I'm going to do what I want. I also have to live the life that I think is the correct thing to do. I do consider that I am a kind of person for freedom, and the way that I can demonstrate that is by making choices for myself. So please don't ask yourself, why is she there, or how is it all right for her, and why is she gone? Just think that that was my decision, and I would absolutely applaud anybody else that does the same. I've never been in favour of the UK being locked down and don't agree with any of it. I've always felt that people should be able to make their own choice. If you're scared and you want to stay home, frankly, for the rest of your goddamn life, that suits me perfectly fine. If you're old and you want to stay home for the rest of your life, I don't advise it. Also fine, but don't tell me what to do. And so please don't ask the question, how is she there? Maybe ask the question, why aren't you? And I would say that I'm here without using any of the paperwork that I thought I might have needed to get here. I wanted to say about Mexico as well, it is very great to have left the UK. Again, I'm not being smug, and I'm not trying to show off, and I'm not trying to be an annoying cow, because I could see that if I'm in the UK and somebody's in sunny Mexico, I'm like, well, what a cow. And I get that. But it is great to be free again. And I say this as a sort of reminder for all of us that are still locked down, that just, you know, try and remember what it is like. So these people have got sod all, you know, like 20 pesos is a lot for them, which is like bloody nothing. But what they have got is freedom here. You know, what they still have is the ability to go out where they want, to be where they want, to be with who they want, nobody policing them or checking on them. What people tend to do here as well is mind their own damn business, which is a sort of glorious thing. I mean, sort of, they're trying to help each other out, but they mind their own bloody business. Not once has someone here tried to tell me what to do, what to wear, where to stand, where not to be, what mask to have on. Not once. And that's a little bit probably because I'm a freak here. I'm obscenely tall here, I noticed, like at 5'8", 9". You know, I'm way tall, and so maybe people are a bit scared of like the giant blonde woman with the big nose. Maybe that's why no one's interfering with me. But my point is, people here get on with their lives, and the other point is they're really bloody free. And it's interesting, isn't it, that COVID's all very well and good, but if you're poor and therefore you have to work to be able to eat because otherwise your family is screwed, you don't get locked down. So what is it? Is it lockdown is just the privilege of rich nations that people can afford to lock down? Anyway, the other thing I love about this place, and many of you will know, the amount of skeletons that there are everywhere, which I now have, like thankfully. I'm sure many of you will have come here, been here, taken home skeletons of your own. The reason I love them is because it's about the Day of the Dead. I've always had a kind of fascination with the whole death thing, maybe because I've come close to it on a few occasions. But I love the Day of the Dead here. What a brilliant idea that you have like a whole bit of time where you just remember people that aren't around anymore and have a bit of a party. We should totally be doing the Day of the Dead in the UK. We should totally have people that have passed on and be remembering them and building kind of statues to them in our house and having things made out of sugar and essentially getting to buy a load of sweets to remember people that went before us. What a fantastic thing. I really admire it. I want to bring it back to the UK. I think we need to be doing more of that. Meanwhile, what else has been going on in the life of the Hopkins? I think just trying to be have some kind of balance between home and here, trying to be in touch with home and to be kind of understanding of what that's like versus being here and feeling free and feeling very happy to be here. One of the things that's quite arseholey about Mexico, well, there's two things actually. Number one is that on the front page of their newspapers, if there's been like a car crash in Mexico, they don't just like go, ooh, horrific car crash, someone injured. No, they put the picture of the horrific injuries sustained by the person in the car crash on the front page of the newspaper. That's what they do to sell the paper. So like if there was a head-on collision and someone had their head busted in, that's the picture they put on the front page. There is no subtlety around car crashes, RTAs and any of that here in Mexico, and I kind of admire them for it. It's like, oh, look, this person died a really gruesome death. See, look how bad it is, which makes me giggle. So that's something they do that I quite like. The thing that's a bit wanky here, I don't know if that's an actual official explanation for it, is there's this new little enclave down the road in the posh bit of people that call themselves digital nomads. I mean, how wanky is that? How wanky do you have to be to have that as an expression? Yeah, I'm a digital nomad, yeah. And what it means basically is they just work on the road the whole time because all they need is a Mac. And like they have their Mac out in the street and very often they have like those socks on that they pull up midway to their shin just because they're like a digital nomad warrior, yeah. And obviously they do yoga like 24/7 as well. So they're like real sculpted and they need to put that in your face as they're ordering their like digestive juice from the raw food shack. Yeah, because the digital nomad. So that's a bit wanky. If you're a digital nomad and you're in Mexico, if you could just please sort of piss off. Please don't come and tell me about your digital nomadness because I'm really not interested. And nor am I interested in seeing how much yoga you can do or how far up your asshole I can look while you're wearing largely leotards. I'm really not bothered by that either. It's been the way... Oh, I must do questions as well. I forget. There is a function for questions. Do you notice I just sort of vent for half an hour? Imagine being my hairdresser. I mean, I could do with a pissing hairdresser, clearly. But my hairdresser is just me sort of standing off for the entire time. And I get highlights done. That's like 3 hours of me just gobbing off for 3 hours at someone. So yes, questions. We're going to do questions in 5 minutes. I promise to shut up and listen to you. Although if it's, why the bloody hell are you in Mexico and I'm not? I really don't know. And if you're a digital nomad, frankly, you can fuck right off. Piers Morgan, bloody Meghan Markle, bloody Oprah Winfrey, for Christ's sake. Are you all sick and tired of hearing of it? Sick and tired of hearing of that shit. I'm so over it. And I'm bloody million miles away. It's like the media haven't got any other stories. No one's dying enough of COVID anymore. Oh, it's not very easy to just say, this many people died 28 days ago that had tested positive. Blah, 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 blah. And so now it's, let's just talk about Meghan and Harry, because that's piss easy as well. Basically, if there's a story that's piss easy to cover, that's the news you're going to be told. So news isn't actually news anymore. It's not, this thing happened and look, we were there and look, we found somebody to talk to about what happened and here they're going to tell us. Oh no, it's what's the pissy easiest thing we can possibly do without having to get our fat asses out of the studio and that we can report on by just having opinions. So that's why you're hearing about this Meghan Markle shit the whole time. And I don't really care actually anymore about any of them. I just think there's some things that make you untouchable. If you're black, you're untouchable. If you're a victim, you're untouchable. Talk about mental health, you're untouchable. Talk about suicide, you're untouchable. And she's mastered the art of mapping together all the things that make you untouchable and weaponizing it brilliantly. She's done it at a high and sophisticated level, but frankly, I just wish people would talk about some other stuff that's actually going on in the world that people give a shit about, like the fact that small businesses have gone to the wall, like the fact that half of Europe have now pulled the AstraZeneca vaccination because women have been dropping dead from clots. And you know what? Boys aren't going to really get this a whole lot. I really like using the word clot. It's a really unfortunate word, and women will get this much at some sort of intrinsic level, but clot, it's just, especially if you've got my cheeks, go clot. I don't want to die of clotting at any point. So, like, if I was to get a vaccine, I'm not getting a vaccine. And I was to die of it, I'd want to have something like outrageous, like a massive freaky arm explosion, my arm fall off. I definitely don't want to die of a clot. Because that's just, what are you going to put on your headstone? Katie, she lies here, she died of a clot. And that's like the worst thing you could possibly die of. But anyway, AstraZeneca pulled from Lithuania, from Italy, from Malta, from Denmark, from Austria, from Norway. The list goes on and on. Have we pulled it? Nah. Have they said don't use it anymore? Nah. They're just sort of sweeping that under the carpet. So stick a bloody NHS warning on this, Instagram, if you will, you know, because people have no right to hear any other opinion than the vaccine is fabulous, we must all have it. Very proud that not all my children have signed up for testing in schools. I won't mention any names, but I'm proud of that. Right, look, I'm really going to try and do this and ask some questions. But if I see a question that says, why are you there and not here? I'm going to have to... Right, I love you. Well, thank you. Thank you. How did they let you out? Isn't it illegal? I told you guys, you're not allowed to ask those questions. Will I marry you? Listen, thank you for saying you love me. Will I marry you? I can't. Whoever that was, I'm hoping it was sort of a hot female with massive boobs. I was staring actually on the bus yesterday, staring at this woman with brilliant boobs. And then the bloke next to her goes, "Oi, Katie Hopkins." I was like, shit, I'm in Mexico. Anyway, that was a bit of a boob diversion. What was I going with that? That someone loved me? Why did I get to boobs? We don't know. But I can't marry anyone else. I'm already married, and I've been married before that as well. So this is like my second marriage. My first marriage, we know, I think we've discussed this at the Katie's Arms before, it lasted less than a year. So I was quite shit at marriage in the first place. I've got better because like I'm on like 11 years now. We talked about that as well because of the whole tweezers thing. Remember, steel tweezers? But I can't marry anyone else because it's exhausting, isn't it? I mean, I could probably, well, I don't know. Let's never say never, darlings, because, you know, life is short and we have to enjoy ourselves to the max. But thank you for the offer. I'll bear in mind, I'll add you to the little wait list. Now, I can't remember. Oh, yes, somebody asking, how the hell did I get here? You know what? Sometimes you just have to bloody decide you're doing something and you just bloody well have to do it. And you know what? What's the worst they're going to sodding do to me? Oh, lock me up when I get home. Okay, go on then. Go on then, do it. Because it's no pissing difference, is it, to being locked up in my lounge? Stick me in the slammer, fine. Turns out prison guards and me, we get on pretty well anyway. And, you know, the police officers on our streets clearly all can't be trusted now, can they? So I may as well be locked up because you'll probably be quite safe. I'm just over it, you know, I'm over it. If you take away my freedom, I've got nothing left to lose. So bring it on. Do what you want when I get back. But I tell you one thing for sure, I am not sitting in some freaking isolation hotel. You can stick that up your arse with your masks as well. Now look at me, I'm going back to questions because would I take the vaccine for a quid? Okay, I will, I can't read that. Oh my even God. Okay, I'll come back to you so that I can, one of those questions just involved my minge. And so I can't answer that. There's probably young people on here, not that they don't know about minges. And I don't know that should we be? I mean, if we were in the pub, we would be talking about my minge. But, see, this is the risk of going to a question, darlings, isn't it? So, yes, would I take the vaccine for a quid? So, no, I would not. I wouldn't take it. You can say I wouldn't take it for all the money in the world, but I'm cautious of that because everybody has a price. Because I always said I wouldn't do Big Brother. I'm not doing Big Brother. I won't do Big Brother. I'm not going to be a prisoner in a house. Hey, that's ironic, isn't it? Hey, Big Brother wouldn't really work right now because people are so bloody locked down. They're being locked down in a pissing bungalow in the middle of wherever the hell that was, Elstree. There's no bloody different to being locked down at home, and then you might as well get paid for it. So actually doing Big Brother would be a bit of a laugh, wouldn't it? Anyway, I always said I wasn't going to do that, but then I did do it because they paid me that much money. So there's always a price. But is there a price that I'd take the vaccine at? Nah. I think there's also going to be a way of people, you guys, when you want to travel, which is now, when you're going to travel, to just have PCR tests so that you won't have to have the vaccine. You just have a test at the airport. That will become efficient, hopefully. I know it's not inexpensive. It's a horrible amount of money. But I think that's the way that you guys will be able to get travelling again. Here, so I paid 100 and, what did I pay? Was it 80 or 100? 100 or 80 quid for my test when I left Heathrow, and then got a bit cuddle from the lady doing the test who told me that she thought this was all a load of shit as well. And then I did selfies with lots of people who were there doing the tests, so the actual staff doing the tests, which just goes to show what a pile of old crap that is when the people administering it know that it's a load of shit. And then here, there's loads of PCR tests up and down the road. I swear to God, they're not even tests. I swear. They're just like Mexicans with a, with an earbud, just like, yeah, give me a few pesos and I'll say that you've not got COVID, which I've got a lot of respect for, a Mexican with an earbud. And I think you can get one just up the road for $40. So, that will be the dream of it, is that when you come to more sensible countries that don't give a shit, you'll be able to just buy PCR tests really cheaply, and that market has got to become more open, hasn't it? They've got to have them on Amazon eventually, because that's the way the market will go. But I'm going to open questions again. I'm scared of it because I don't want to see I don't really want to see my minge being mentioned anymore. You said in your book James Corden is the worst, right? So my book's Rude, and I'm not pushing my book at all. It's sold out anyway, so I'm not one of those sad old bastards going, oh, buy my book. As if we need any more bloody books. I just thought Alistair Campbell's writing some more pissing diaries. Alistair, sod off. We'd rather read the instructions on shampoo, darling, than read one of your bloody books. No one gives a shit. I tend to think that actually about most books as well. No one wants to read it. You're just doing it for the cash. Sod off. When you hear them come on Radio 2 or Radio 4 and you know that their book's coming, and the presenter's going to be so interested and say what a great book it is because their agent is literally sitting opposite the glass, staring through, saying, mention the bloody book. That contrivance is just such bollocks. But anyway, Rude, which you can't buy because it's sold out, because turns out people wanted to read it even though no one would put it in their shops because I'm a Nazi, racist, misogynist, fattest, sexist cow. Anyway, you can still get the audio version. It's got some mistakes in and it's me reading the damn thing. I never realised how long it took to read a book for an audio book. It's quite a long time. In it, I say that James Corden's one of the worst, and absolutely, when I used to be on TV stuff, then James Corden's name. So if you were friendly with the makeup ladies and gentlemen, which I always was because they're the best, like the way more interesting TV is the makeup artists, whoever's doing security and whoever's on reception, my kind of people. The presenter tends to be a tosser. The rest of the guests tend to be tossers. In fact, everybody that's to do with TV in any front-facing camera way is a tosser. But the people working, good as gold. So you make friends with all the makeup ladies and gentlemen, and they tell you the best gossip. So they know who's a tosser, Martin Lewis, and they know who's a complete wanker and a bastard to work with. And James Corden would be an example of one of those names. I could dish the dirt for a very long time, actually. Maybe that's it. Maybe we do a Katie's Arms sometimes where I dish the things. Oh, what are they going to take from? What are they going to take from me? Really? Why don't we do it? I've witnessed Martin Lewis from The Money Show be a complete dickhead in makeup. So we'll think about this one, because I feel like there's secrets from makeup rooms, and because the makeup artists are so nice and I get on with normal, as we can see, normal people, I know more than I should probably. Yeah, that's making me laugh. Okay, so I'm gonna, when do you think people will wake up? I quite like it when people put their questions on the commenty thing. I don't know how this is working, But if you can write your questions on the comedy thing rather than in the question, I think it's much better. No, I haven't had the bloody vaccine. No, I'm not going to have it, darlings. It's you know, my personal opinion, not being in the medical profession and therefore not being a twat, is it didn't go through testing properly. It hasn't gone through any kind of rigour. And actually, more than that, not even anything to do with the vaccine, I'm perfectly healthy. You know, if I died from COVID, fine. I would so sign up for that. I'd sign that piece of paper. I would take a passport with me. I would have the digital tattoo done saying, fuck it, I don't care. And if that digital passport could let me do what the frick I wanted any time of the day with anyone I wanted, I would have that tomorrow. I would have that tattooed down my neck if I needed to. Set me free. I'm happy with that. I sign up to all. I promise not to even use the NHS and the bunch of leftists that are in there. Just let me be free. So it's that. COVID was never going to kill me anyway. And people forgot that because they were taken so far from that, they got confused. And that's what the media did on purpose. You need a good all-night banging. Thank you very much for the offer. I don't know if I could, darling. I mean, really, I'd be exhausted. I'd be exhausted all night. I remember, babes, when I used to... Hold on, I'm just adjusting my underwear. I've really got into pub mode, can you tell? I'm like, right, at the bar, sort my boobs out. I don't know if an all-night banging would work for me now. I probably need a bit of a break, or at least a drink halfway through. It's just the energy levels, isn't it? You know, you really, when you're trying to like be married or trying to have a partner or trying to date at a younger age, you really put out... Like, you really make an effort. Like, you do things, you know, I have got grazed knees at the moment, but not in that way. I just fell. I'm tempted to show you my knee, but actually you don't need to see it. You don't need to see my knee. I have actual bruises because I took a tumble when I was running. It was all very unfortunate. It was in the street in Mexico City, in the dodgier bit of Mexico City where the cartels roam. So I was having a run, as you do, and I fell because my trainers fell to pieces. Embarrassing. Landed smack on the floor. I took out my hip and my knees. I've got grazed knees, which looks like I've been doing naughty, sexy things, and I definitely haven't because I'm like 85. And this lovely Mexican man came and picked me up with his dark eyes and then offered me drugs, which was brilliant. So if you're going to fall over with a running-based injury, definitely do it in a Mexican market in Mexico City. Where's your tan? Well, how rude. I'm bloody working hard here. I'm barmaid at the Katie's Arms. And I haven't been pissing about. I've been working. I mean, as much as I'm taking the piss, I am obviously an essential worker. I'm so essential. We've got 3 minutes left, darlings. I'm an essential worker and I've been doing actual journalism, if any of you bothered to bloody look at it, and stop asking me about having nookie or showing you my foof or talking about my minge, or asking me to pummel me all night. Where are my family? Are they away with me? How odd. And I mean that kindly, in the sense that if I was a boy, of course, no one asks husbands where their family are. They just assume that men travel alone. Or if you work as a guy, it's seen like, oh yeah, a guy, yeah, he works. So I always used to say, oh, I work like a husband. You know, when I worked like in America and I had my little kids, when I did The Apprentice, I had 2 children under the age of 2. I would always say, oh, I work like a husband, for people to understand. No, I never ever travel on the road with my family. I always travel alone. I am prepared to take any risk and all risks, but I'm never ever prepared to put my family in harm's way. The other thing, and I'm sure everybody feels that way, but I particularly feel that way, and my harm's way is probably more harm than most. If something happens to me, I'm all in. But I would never want my family caught up in that. And also, you know, speaking frankly, they've all got bloody lives of their own. My children are 16, 15, 12. They've got shit to get on with. And my husband's got a life as well. So the idea that they're all going to come schlepping around with me, and frankly, also the way I travel and the choices I make wouldn't be appropriate for children. In fact, they're probably not appropriate for anyone. It's certainly not appropriate for someone in my age group, to be honest. But I'm still going to make those choices every goddamn day because I'm running out of time. And so the more we can do, the better we have to do it. Let me have you for a night. Boys, stop with this. This was, do you know what? My life was, I think, easier when I was looked like a bastard lesbian, because I think there was less of this distraction. Now that I've got hair again, people seem to think I'm sort of, I don't know, maybe it's lockdown that made people think that they'd want to have nookie with me. Maybe that's it. Maybe if you don't get out very much, suddenly you even think about having sex with Katie Hopkins. I don't know. Or is it just the pandemic? People think or realised I might not be a monster. I don't know, but the whole bloody nookie thing needs to stop. Right, darlings, it's 1 minute to go. I'm not reading that. Thank you. But thank you for the compliments. Thank you. Stop it. I'm not, me in compliments. I'm not great at it. We know that. Stop it. Thank you. Just, right, that's it. You see what happens? Compliments lose the ability to talk. That's why it's much easier if everybody's just unkind to me, says that I look like a lesbian and a melted wheelie bin, and then I can talk normally. Good. So thank you so much for joining me at the Katie's Arms once more. Obviously, I'm just going to go out and do yoga like non-stop because I'm here and it's like digital nomad in Mexico. So yeah, I'm just going to go and drink ginger juices because I'm so fucking healthy. I can't even believe it. Actually, no, I had a massive breakfast today with steak and eggs. Someone's got to keep up the meat eating around here and give the people some money. So love you all. Now, 8 o'clock for you, so you aren't going to bed yet. Oh, I forgot to think about homework. Maybe tequila, darlings. Tequila slammer. That's quite random though, isn't it? In the middle of winter, in the middle of UK, when it's gloomy and awful. I need to think about the homework thing. And we're going to do this again next week, 8 o'clock UK time. Unless I'm strung up to a tree in the jungle somewhere, climbing for coconuts, ripping them down just with my bare teeth. Or of course I'm a digital nomad and I'll be just so busy pulling up my shin high ankle socks because I'm just so cool and be doing the downward freaking dog over a juice. Right. Great, darlings. Love you all. Try and keep laughing, please. That's what this is really all about. Try and keep it together. If you think you're losing your shit, katie@katiehopkins.co.uk. I do try and come back to everybody that I can. And remember to always keep questioning, what am I being told? Why am I being told it? Does that make any sense? I was never going to die from COVID anyway. Just keep bringing yourself back to something you remember that's true. Or get your picture of when you were having the most favourite time you could ever have had. It might have been when you were a kid. It might have been when you were young and you were dating for the first time. It might be that your best day was like your wedding day. Crazy! It might be any of those things. It might be the day Donald Trump was elected. I don't know. Find that picture, blow it up, put it everywhere, put it on your fridge, and remember happiness every damn day, because we're going to get that back somehow, or I'm going to move us all out here and we'll all be like digital nomads together. Okay, my darlings, I love you and I'll leave you and I'll see you at the Katie's Arms next week.